Hey everybody, glad to be learning with you today as we continue our studies of Masechet Shabbat and explore a concept known as Pesik Reisha. In today's lesson, we'll distinguish between a Pesik Reisha and a Davar She'eino Mitkaven, which we've discussed in a previous lesson. And we'll also lay down the halachic rule for Pesik Reisha, so that whenever we encounter it, we'll know exactly what the law should be in such a case. But first, let's take a quick look back at Davar She'eino Mitkaven, which we discussed earlier in a previous lesson. A davar she'eino mitkaven refers to a situation with an unintentional outcome. It describes a case where a person is doing something that is permitted on Shabbat, but in the process happens to do something that is forbidden. We'll take a classic example, plowing, choresh, which is one of the 39 malachot and is not allowed to be done on Shabbat. The goal of choresh is to plow the earth to make it easier to plant seeds. If you plowed the earth to create a furrow, and did so with this specific reason in mind, you violated the law. What if, however, your intention was not to violate the law at all? All you wanted to do was something that was completely permissible, like moving your lawn chair from one spot on the grass to another. Well, this is called a davar she'eino mitkaven, something that has an unintentional outcome, and the halacha states that this situation, davar she'eino mitkaven, is pater. No korban is required. The reason for that is because your violation, in this case creating a furrow in the ground, was unlikely and unexpected. What if that wasn't the case? What if by moving your chair you knew for sure that a violation was inevitable? Well, this kind of a situation is known as a Pesik Reisha. What's the deal with the chicken? Well, the Gemara uses a somewhat bizarre example to illustrate the concept of a Pesik Reisha, of an inevitable outcome. You're not allowed to kill an animal on Shabbat. But let's just say killing the animal wasn't the goal. You just wanted its head. Like I said, it's a somewhat strange case. So even though there's nothing wrong with having a chicken's head, it is wrong to kill the chicken on Shabbat for that head. It's inevitable that if you cut off the head, the chicken will die. As the Gemara asks rhetorically, Pesik Reisha v'lo yamut, is it not inevitable that that animal will die? The violation is inevitable. So based on this rule, we cannot do an action on Shabbat if that action would inevitably violate a law of Shabbat. If you knew for certain that dragging your chair across the earth would create a furrow beneath it, then the halacha views this as a Pesik Reisha, and you are chayev for the action that you've committed. So to sum up, there's a fine line between a davar she'eino mitkaven, which is pater, and a Pesik Reisha, which is chayev. It all comes down to probability. How likely is it that by doing something that's allowed, you'll do something that's not allowed? If the chances of doing something wrong are slim, we call this a davar she'eino mitkaven, and you're not responsible for the violation. But if the chances of doing something wrong are high, if they are inevitable, then we call this a Pesik Reisha, and you are in fact held responsible for any violation that follows.